Dr. Hunt, welcome to Up Level Together podcast yet again. I'm always so darn excited to have you on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. And I love spending time with you. You're my favorite person.
Same. I have to record this, cut it out, listen to it over and over again. Today is such a phenomenal, special day. It's an equinox. Here in the Northern Hemisphere, I'm in Minnesota. Soon enough, we will not be able to generate our own vitamin D. And we're going to explain what that means. We're going to talk about the sun today. We're going to talk about all of the things that people yet don't understand and why we have been lied to for millennia. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are we going to get in trouble with this conversation?
I can keep it clean.
I love that. I'm totally in.
I know how to dance.
I love that. So for all of you who've heard the introduction of this incredible healer, a miracle worker in this century, and she again and forever walks every single morning and teaches us every single morning. You've been doing this for years. I think I started following you around 2019.
I started my Instagram account in 2016, but back then I was too shy to even show my face. And then as soon as Instagram started doing lives, I would do those live videos in the dark, hiking, so nobody could see me. And then eventually I got brave enough to start showing who I was. So that's been about 3.5, 4 years. Every day.
Thank God you did. I found a little snippet in 2008. You said you are a solar panel that turns light into energy, and you said, and no one was listening back then. And now everyone's like, "Oh my God, she's onto something. She might be just onto something."
Well, Einstein won a Nobel Prize in 1921 for solar panels, which is what we do, and it's what the plants do. But we're not educated to understand that.
And we're going to do that. We're going to do that in this conversation. One of the things that I love about our conversations is that people tell me they're always incredibly enlightening, and they explain things in a very simple manner that people can finally say, aha, I get it. But as Dr. Hunt always says, if you clean yourself, no matter what kind of conversation you're into, you're going to get it. Am I right?
You get rid of the cobwebs in your brain, which you do with ketosis and fasting, then you can track your memory. Your cognition is just your ability to remember your experiences. I mean, it's not just that, but a large portion of it is your ability to track yourself across time, the experiences that you've had. Mm-hmm. And so when you're disconnected, when you're sick and your brain is inflamed, you can't retain those connections to light. And you can't remember. And so if you can't remember what you had for dinner, how are you going to remember what a quark is? You're not. Then the next time you hear the word quark and you associate it to a proton or a neutron, you're not going to remember that. So the cleaner you get, the more you can track yourself across time for learning.
And the more we do that, the more we become access to source, to genius, and we come up with novel ideas, and we become a force of change in our own communities, which is what you advocate for you have for years now.
You create your reality, but it's not just you, it's you and me together, and you and me and all the people listening to this podcast. That's Matthew 18:20 in the Bible right there. Where two or more are gathered, I am there. It's just quantum field theory. So if you're creating your reality with the people that you touch, and I'm creating my reality with the people that I touch, and my kids' school and my church and my community, and you're doing that in your community, if enough people start to have the knowledge, we can change this civilization.
Yeah, we can. I always tear up when you're talking about that because that's so close to my heart. I'm like, we have to wake up. We have to wake up. All right. Well, here's what I have for today, what I would love to mainly address. We're going to talk all things the sun from the physical angle, and then the sun is the sun. The spiritual side, we're going to talk about AI. We're going to be talking about cholesterol. We're creating the quantum bridge, envisioning ourselves feeling better. We're going to talk about all of those different things. And then I have a super rapid fire at the end of all the commonly asked questions that people keep asking over and over and over and
Now
over and
you're
over.
making me nervous, but I'm fasting today, so I'm on it.
No, you are always on it. So let's talk about, the sun. You through the physical lens. Sun is the activator, light shapes life. These are your words. Light plays the DNA like a symphony, directly from your book. And by the way, we're going to talk about
But those are the words of my friend Isaac. I give credit. I try to give credit where credit is due. That part, that quote's not mine. That's his. But we've been friends for a long time, so I use it.
I love that you talk about it, but we hear it through you, right? So tell us about, start very easy, rudimentary, about the physical processes in the body in reaction to the sun, the EMF, and the spectrum of light. Let's really break it down. Morning sun, what happens? Why do we have to face these every single morning?
I think the first thing you have to understand is that the sun, if you were outside of our atmosphere, I call our atmosphere a cotton candy cloud that surrounds us. So if you were outside of our atmosphere, the sun would be pure white light, and it's using nuclear fusion to create that electromagnetic radiation, or that light. And the sun has a spectrum of light that is massive. It's called the electromagnetic field, or the electromagnetic radiation. Our bodies evolved on this planet from bacteria and mitochondria, which are an ancient bacteria that make energy. They came together. And under the instructions or code of all of the light of the sun, we evolved in the very center of it, which is only 0.0035% of all of the light that you see. So to back up that lens, there's wavelengths of light that are called radio waves that are as big as planets and football fields, or when you talk about the undulation of the wave. And then we go through microwaves and the visible spectrum, and then high energy ionizing radiation like ultraviolet light and gamma rays and cosmic rays. And it's a huge spectrum of light. And we see hardly any, but it's that narrow portion with green in the center, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Those colors are waves. And they come through the atmosphere at different times of day based on the angle of the sun in the sky. So when I'm always doing this is your vitamin D window. As the sun rises over the horizon and it hits that cotton candy atmosphere, I wish I had my models, the sun is hitting these particles in the sky. What first comes through is red light, and then orange, and then yellow, and then green. And when the sun hits 30 degrees off the horizon, that's when all of the colors of the rainbow come through, and they literally play molecules in our body, in our eye, in our skin, like a magical symphony. So your eye isn't just a camera that's giving you information about what do you look like sitting in front of me? What does the picture look like sitting behind me? But your eye is also taking specific instructions by excitations, quantum entangled excitations in your retina, to tell a node in the middle of your brain what time of day it is. So we're literally using the sun as our satellite to tell us, is it day or is it night? And so that affects things like dopamine and serotonin, and when you make melatonin, which tells you to go to sleep, and when the melatonin turns off, it affects B12 in your system, it affects your hormone production, it affects everything. We are taking all of that information. We are a quantum computer created by the sun. In other words, it's like laser beams of light, and we are taking that information to make our biology work, not just to see the beautiful things around us, but also to know, is it day? Is it night? Should I get up and make cortisol? Should I get up and raise my insulin? Should I get up and go hunt? Is it time to turn on my melatonin so that I shut down and I go to sleep? I think that circadian biology piece, people are starting to realize, but I don't think at least the forward thinking health people are realizing. I don't think people realize so much that if you obey all of its instructions or all of its code, that is your path to healing. And so when we're told the sun is bad for us and we never get sun, that's when you wind up with disease like hypertension, like POTS, like mast cell, like histamine intolerance, all this influx of disease that we're seeing from people sitting inside all day and eating too much sugar is from lack of sunlight. All of the frequencies of light, all of the colors, all of the waves.
So that is the revolutionary thing that I think when people first come into contact with you, like, wait a minute, that's an interesting thing. You say the sun is everything. All of the code that keeps you alive and everything on this planet alive comes from the sun. Is because we've lost sight of that we're sick.
Well, I'm going to go big now. 4.5 billion years ago, this planet formed. And it took us 4.5 billion years to get to this point of evolution. Our sun is going to burn out in 5 billion years. So we're halfway through our life on this planet. Human consciousness, everything that we've created, that we are working for, we have to have an exit strategy. Like, we're going far distant future, type 5 civilization. What are we headed for? Every civilization so far has destroyed itself. So there are enough forward thinking people on this planet to realize, okay, if we're going to take our consciousness and get it off this planet, we got to start planning now. We have to my thought is we have to get everybody healthy enough to stop fighting, love each other, take care of each other, not annihilate each other, and figure out how we're going to trek the stars.